That was so nice. That's all I needed. Good night. I'm a way better dancer than that, you guys. You have to believe me. I'm just honestly shocked that anybody is here at all, to be honest. For real. I have something that my therapist keeps telling me is called Imposter Syndrome. And I'm like, there's no way that's true. That sounds way too cool. That couldn't be me. That was your first joke, people. Because imposter syndrome is all about how you feel like you don't belong in places, right? That's me every day. I can convince myself I'm bad at almost anything. I know. And I know I'm not alone in that. I mean, they have a term for it that therapists say. It's imposter syndrome, right? Like, this is real. There's many internet memes that agree with me. But I do feel alone in that in my own marriage, to be honest with you. Because I married a very confident guy. You saw him for a little bit, right? That man likes himself most days. He's proud of the things that he does. That's crazy. I think most men are like that. You know why? Have you guys ever seen a man do something that they deem impressive and then immediately go, let's go? Oh, you have? All of the men? It's a wild thing. Women, we're not allowed to be that confident. We really aren't. Check any comment section of a woman talking highly about herself. It's just not hot, wouldn't hit. Maybe if you were 15 pounds lighter. But yet men can shoot a wad of paper into a wastebasket and go, Kobe! The first time my husband and I went golfing, he hit a tee shot and immediately goes, oh my God, that's a perfect shot. That's a perfect shot. That's a hole in one. He said that out loud. People could hear him. What it must be like to have the confidence of a man doing slightly above average at anything would be incredible. Because let me tell you something, that was a par 3 course. And it wasn't even close to a hole in one. I would die if someone heard me be that nice to myself. I would. If someone thought I was cool, I'd be mortified. Because the very next thing I think they thought is, who does she think she is? I blame mothers for men's unwarranted confidence. I do. Because they love their sweet baby boys. Ooh, they love them so much. They praise them way too much. They grow up with all this confidence. And I think it's because when a woman has a little boy, she knows what she's done to the world. She understands it. She's not thrilled. So she immediately convinced herself that she made one of the good ones. She's like, but this one's different. Mine is different. And he's not. He's not. He's out here ghosting and sending dick pics like the rest of them, you know? You tried your hardest. I want to start a game show where we go to like Iowa, a Walmart. We find the first woman. It's like wearing capris. She's on the go. She's a busy woman. She needs her ankles to breathe. No time for pants. We walk up to her and we read her 3 DMs a woman has gotten past 4 a.m. And she's in shock. She's just heard some of the nastiest shit she's ever heard in her life. And then we go, which one was your son? JK, they're all your son. Turns out Derek's a monster. And then we ask her for $10,000 because we had to read those DMs. It's a reverse game show. I blame mothers. I say that, but I don't actually really. I blame timing. Because a mother's job is never finished, but essentially you're done raising your child by 18, right? Has anyone ever met an 18-year-old boy that was fully cooked? Ever? There's always more work to be done. When I met my husband, his feet stunk so bad. So bad. I thought it was gonna end us. I was Googling podiatrist, it smelled medical. And I brought him my findings. I was like, we can get through this together, my guy. We can fix this. So I asked him once, I was like, what do you think we can do about your stinky feet? And he goes, well, I could maybe stop re-wearing my gym socks. That's a great place to start. That's a fantastic place to start. Where was your mom on that one, babe? Mothers and sons, mothers and daughters, it's a completely different relationship. I know this for a fact. I have 3 brothers, and I'm married to that guy. Let me tell you a story. That's what this whole night is just a couple stories. My husband went home to do comedy. This was years ago. One of his first years doing comedy, so like not even his best work. That was kind of mean. I'm sorry. We'll edit that part out. My husband went home to do some comedy first year. He's already amazing at it. He's a prodigy. He's incredible. He's the best. His mother laughed so hard, she was in the audience, she peed her pants. She loved the words coming out of her son's mouth so much that she evacuated herself. My mom, on multiple occasions, has told me I'm her 3rd favorite comedian. Behind a Christian comic who got me too'd and my husband. It's just a little different. Just a little. Another thing that needed work when I first met him was he was in 3 fantasy football leagues when I met him. Ugh. Is that how many you're in? You need someone to cut that out. He's now in 1 because I did my job. I don't like fantasy football. I don't. Mostly because it allows him to maintain the relationships he has with his college friends. And I don't like that. Because I don't like his friends. You wouldn't either. You don't know these guys. But let me tell you something about them to get you on my side, okay? Because fantasy football, they do this thing that's called an auction where they're buying humans and then they get to trade them to one another. These people get to name their own team names. And I found the league once, and I was disturbed. These men in their 30s, this is what they named their teams. Okay, you ready? Committed these to memory. Great Turd Cutter. Yes. I was told that was about Aaron Rodgers' butt. See, I didn't know Aaron had a nice butt, but his friend Brett did. Clit Master. Yes. That is a man who's never found a clit in his life. Never even came close. Doesn't know if it's real. Boner Bonanza 2009. That made me think, what happened in 2008 where you had to name it, right? What happened that year? Grandma's tits, grown man's penis, titty boy, they're so creative! Butthole shots was one. That gave me pause, because the truth is there's two meanings of butthole shots. What do you think butthole shots mean? Taking a shot out of a butthole. That's what I thought. I thought these men were putting little shot glasses in their butthole, and then other men were coming up and going, ooh, yummy, 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 pink eye. But I did find out it's when you put alcohol up your butt. And honestly, I don't know which one is worse. My favorite one that I read, even though it was pretty triggering, and I think he won the league that year, it was called Team Wet Dream. Yeah, and that was triggering. Because wet dreams and I go way back. What a weird thing to say. But it's true. Do you remember when we were learning about our ever-changing bodies, right? My health teacher at the end of that week, she put a prompt on the board. She said, who has it worse during puberty, boys or girls? In retrospect, I think she was trying to teach us the right answer, because when I said boy, she was in shock. I was the only one in the class to say boy. She made me stand up and tell the class why I thought that. So I told them the truth. I go, don't you guys remember the horror film we saw yesterday? Do you guys remember when we learned about wet dreams? The teachers are like, everyone get in the gymnasium, sit by your crush, touch arms until your whole body is firing on all cylinders. And then this movie rolls, and it's of this little boy. He's just having a nice day with his family, a catch with his father, dinner. And then it cuts to the middle of the night. He's woken up by his first wet dream. What do I do? He didn't watch the movie that we watched because he's the star of the movie. Do you get what I'm saying? He's terrified. He's absolutely terrified. He thinks the only way to fix this situation is to wash his sheets right now. Middle of the night, he starts gathering them up, just crunch, crunch, getting them in a ball, you know. Didn't like that one? It's just science, people. He walks down the stairs. He has to avoid his mom. Yeah, she's awake. She's a woman. We're always awake, thinking about the sins of our country. We don't sleep. He gets to the washing machine, but he doesn't know what he's doing. He goes to the kitchen. He grabs the Dawn. What could go wrong? Everything goes wrong. Everything. He puts the soap in the washing machine, breaks it, thousands of dollars of damage. The movie didn't show this, but you know his parents were pissed. You know it. They probably make him pay for it with a paper route. All because he saw an Herbal Essences commercial right before bed? That's not fair. You guys remember those commercials? Yeah. Everyone's like, yeah, oh, I do. They're in my spank bank still, right back here. The 90s were so horny. This was a shampoo that they marketed by going, ah! Those commercials were on in the middle of the day. You can buy that at Kroger. What? I really thought for so long that was the worst thing that could happen to a person, truly. And then I grew 3 years, and I went through what a woman goes through. And I thought, fuck you guys, wet dreams are amazing! Right? You get to do the thing that feels the best with no effort whatsoever. It kind of sounds like a metaphor for a man's life. Just walking around with pussy and privilege getting thrown at you like you deserve it? After that, doing that joke and living here, you know what's so funny? I realized that little boy had to audition for that role. He did. That was 100% a SAG job, you know it. The call came out and every stage mom was like, get in the car, Jimmy. We're going to Pasadena. We're getting you a role today. So I cut out fantasy football. Have I lost my male audience yet? You're still here, right? But I allow him to watch ESPN still because I'm like a really cool wife. I'm like really cool. I'm just one of the guys. I'm so go with the flow. My nighttime skin routine is 34 minutes, but other than that, I'm like really low maintenance. I let him watch ESPN, which I hate. I don't like ESPN. I don't. It's just constant programming of the same shit. Get up, first take, outside the lines, this just in, NFL Live, Around the Horn, PTI, Sports Center. What do all these shows talk about? LeBron versus Jordan, and won't shut the fuck up about it. And the makeup of all these shows look the exact same. Just white guy, black guy, ethnically ambiguous guy. Is he Asian? Is he Latino? Just the right amount of not white so the Midwest doesn't change the channel. And then one woman only ever won. And what does she look like? She looks like she's going out for New Year's Eve. Right? High heels, tight dress, makeup you could spoon off. What time do these shows come on? Glad you asked. 6 a.m. they have her in leopard print. Shut up, bitch, and talk about LeBron. I've also figured it out. If you're older, you like Jordan. If you're younger, you like LeBron. It's not that hard. I just want to march to Burbank or wherever they shoot these shows and go, I figured it out. It's nostalgia. So sometimes I do let him watch TV because, honestly, if it was up to me, we would just be watching like a woman's brutal murder while we're eating breakfast. I'm one of those girls. I love murder. I spent my whole life scared of men, so now I like to watch it play out. I like to know I'm not alone. I do. I like the dark shit. Darker the story, the better, to be honest. But that's not my fault. It's because I grew up on Lifetime. I did. I grew up on Lifetime. I think it's because I was third born and a mistake. Yeah. Anyone else know that? Know for a fact you were a mistake because one of your parents told you you were a mistake. That's my story. I loved it. My favorite day. I learned I was a mistake because we were in the car with my brothers and my dad. This was a night of celebration. My dad was wasted. We drive by a hotel and he goes, oh shit, honey, that's where you were conceived. There. And then he elaborated. He said, fun fact, your mother and I were separated, but we got invited to a wedding, and we didn't want anyone to know yet. So we just went to the wedding, and then, you know. I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. My parents didn't get divorced until I was 2. If you're a detective like I am, you've already connected the dots. I was supposed to save the marriage. And I failed! Miserably! Never saw those two in the same room. Didn't do my job. So when they were divorced, my mom was tired. She didn't want to watch Aladdin. She sat me down and we watched Mohr in Lifetime like grown women do. And she won't ever admit this because she knows, like y'all do, Lifetime at 9 will mess you up. I couldn't relate to the kids I went to school with. I'm learning about sexual assault, bulimia, self-harm. And they're all singing, I want to be where the people are. One Halloween, this girl was wearing horns. And I was like, oh, I like your horns. What are you? And she goes, I'm Maleficent. I'm the villain from Sleeping Beauty. Don't you know that? And I didn't know that. I go, oh, the villains in the movies I watch are just stepdads that like their wives' kids too much, so. And what's crazy is that I had a stepdad, and she still showed me that shit. He'd be like, I love you, Anna. I'm like, I know, Mike, that's the problem. I got my eye on you. So my love for Lifetime obviously turned into a love for the WB, now called the CW. Do you know what that channel is? It's teen soap operas, right? And if you watch enough of it like I did, your worldview can become very warped. Because you want that life so bad. You're going through puberty. You're watching these girls just cry every night on your television screen. You're like, I can't wait to go to high school. Because at the end of the day, they have perfect hair and come home to houses where their parents leave them alone. I really wanted that life so badly. But it's not the truth. Like, I didn't ever once state in anything. I didn't get taken up to Luther's Point in Andrew's convertible just to say, hey, not tonight. I didn't have an inappropriate relationship with the teacher until college. I really thought my love story from watching all these teen soap operas was gonna look like this. I thought I'd be driving down the road in a vintage convertible. And then my tire pops. What do? I call the local tow truck. Guess who shows up? Just the hottest guy you've ever seen. Blonde hair, blue eyes, brooding, mysterious. Who is this guy? He looks familiar. Yeah, we go to high school together. He's been in love with me for years, but I didn't know it. We're in 2 different social classes. I'm the popular cheerleader. He's the weird loner guy. Our friends don't understand. We don't care. Our love is complicated. We get together, we break up, we get together, we break up far too many times until, I don't know, tragedy strikes, death in the family. I'm at the funeral. I lock eyes with him from across the room. I didn't think he'd be there. We had gotten in a fight that morning. I walked up to him, I go, it's you. And he goes, shh, baby girl, it's you. It's always been you. Then he gets down on one knee, he pulls out a ring, but not just any ring, my grandmother's ring I thought was lost in the fire from the season before. He saved it. How could I say no? I know we're only 17, but I'm certain I'll never meet another man I ever want to date, ever. But that's not reality, people. Reality is I told my high school boyfriend I wanted to be woken up by rocks thrown at my window. But oops, I grew up in a 1-story house. So it didn't look at all the same. I never woke up from the rocks. He ended up walking over and just knocking on my window and being like, this whole thing is stupid. And I was like, you're right. Don't forget to ask me to prom in the rain. My biggest dream growing up was just to live upstairs. It was. I also wanted that prom scene when you walk down the banister. I didn't get that. I just had to walk from the kitchen to the living room like, okay, let's go. This is trauma we're talking about, real trauma. So my high school love story didn't look the way I thought it would, but my adult one was even better than I could have dreamed. My husband is incredible, and I'm not just saying that because he is in the room. He is. He's the best guy. Today is his birthday. Yes. And he made this entire day about me. He's incredible. Makes you think how I can make so many jokes about men when I have such a good one. The rest of you are really bad. He's the anomaly. I'll tell you a story when I knew I wanted to marry him. We were watching TV in our apartment, and there was a fly buzzing around. And he gets up, and he turns off the TV. And I go, babe, what are you doing? And he goes, well, I got to kill this fly. I got to listen for him or her. He's a feminist! I got to grab him up! So I knew we were going to get married, but I didn't think we actually ever would because we are poor. And I don't know if you've ever heard this, weddings are very expensive. And what was crazy is that like the people early on when we were like poor, who kept pressuring us to get married by continuously asking when we were going to get married would be the people that are invited to that wedding. You were so excited to come to the worst wedding of all time. Because if we did it when everyone started to ask, it'd be on a Wednesday. It'd be BYOF, bring your own food. I can't feed you guys. That's the most expensive part. There'd be some dancing to my Spotify, sure, with ads. What do you want me to do? Do something really sweet like our first dance. And then you just hear, oh, O'Reilly's. That really ruined the mood, huh? You'd leave that wedding after dessert, which is just a bunch of little Debbies I throw at your face on the way out. You'd be like, wow, I wish they would have waited a few years. Saved up some money for some tables. I saved you all from that wedding. We saved up for some rings from Etsy and a wedding in the desert, very small, and it was incredible. It was so much fun, except for the fact that I did spill coffee on my dress 4 minutes before I walked out on, yeah, I know. And I don't have a joke for that because it's still not funny to me at all. Like my whole body just turned on fire just because I said it out loud. Isn't that crazy? I will say though that I have some amazing friends, and my biggest regret in life is that I did not take a before and after picture because I'd be rolling in it with the Tide Stick money right now. I would be the Flo from Progressive of Tide Sticks. That sponsorship would have really helped. But it was great. You know what wasn't great though? Was leading up to the wedding. The stress of planning a wedding was driving me insane. I was going insane. You know who I blame for that? Pinterest. I hate Pinterest so much. You feel so good about the decisions you make, and then you go on Pinterest and you go, oh my God, a champagne wall. How could I ever have fun without a champagne wall? And then you look up how much is a champagne wall, and it's $4,000, but you're already in the hole, $50,000. What is this? Fuck Pinterest. Don't go on, you're doing fine. So I did try to sabotage everything 2 weeks before. And not just the wedding, the relationship. Because in my head, I thought, if there's no relationship, no need for a wedding. And maybe I can go back to acting like a human. That was my mindset. So we're watching TV one night, Bravo, because it was my choice. Even though, guys, you know you love Bravo. It's so good. You love The Real Housewives. We're watching Vanderpump 100%. That's actually the best. I could do 30 minutes on that, but I can't because we're taping. We're watching Bravo, bottom of the barrel men cheating on women far above them. I'm 3 glasses of wine deep. I look over at my fiance, who wouldn't misgender a fly. I'm like, do I even like men? Do I want to get married? This guy's like the rest of them, right? Do you remember when you called me a 9.5 out of 10? And that is a true story. That is something he said. But that happened month 2 of us dating. We had been together almost a decade at that point, but I don't care. I'll keep bringing it up because it hurt my feelings. Guess what? This special, the name of it, 9.5. You're living it right now. Month 2 of us dating. But yeah, I'm going to remember that. I'm going to put it right here because that's a woman's superpower. We can remember everything you've ever said that we don't like, and we'll throw them at you when we're bored or we're scared. Can we leave the house without going back to retrieve everything we forgot? No. But we can remember when you said you liked our hair better down when we were already wearing it up. You better believe it. Month 2, I'm in the bathroom. I'm trying real hard. And I come out of the bathroom. I think I'm just maybe looking for a compliment, being cutesy, flirty, fun. I go, babe, scale of 1 to 10, how good do I look? Anyone want to say the correct answer to that? 10. 10. 100 times out of 100 times you say 10. 11. Higher. This bitch? 9.5. You know what that told me? He was taking my question seriously. He gave me a real answer to something I just wanted to have fun times with. 9.5. I'd rather him have said 2. Then I would have just changed everything. Usher knew better. From a 1 to 10, she's a certified 20. He's never heard the song. Every time I get ready at night, I'm like, yeah, I'm feeling myself, but something's off. And I'll never know what it is. I think it's the widow's peak. I'm doing like my Jim from The Office looks over at the camera. We did have a bachelorette and bachelor party combined. We called it our batch bash. You don't have to tell me that's stupid because people already have. It was fun. It was great. It was such a fun time. We went down to Mexico. We did most of things together, but there was a day where the boys did their thing and the girls did their thing, right? And the boys, they went golfing. The girls, it was my choice, so we had a spa day, and then we sat on the beach and talked about childhood trauma. I'm such a party animal. You'd love going out with me. There was a talking stick, which was a sunscreen bottle, and we were all just going around talking about the relationships we have with our mothers. We were crying at the end. It was cathartic. It was amazing. It was my bachelorette party. Oh! And then I see my fiance just sprinting down the beach. I'm like, oh my God, someone died today. And he gets to me, he goes, I set a self-record. I drank 16 beers on the course. I puked. And I was like, oh, we did not have similar days at all. We did not. Boys and girls, we're so different. I'm glad we did ours together, though, the bachelor party, bachelorette. It was his idea, honestly. I wasn't going to suggest it, even though I wanted that, because I didn't want him to have a bachelor party. Shocking. I didn't. Why? Because where does every man go on his bachelor party? The strip club. I don't like strip clubs, but not for the reasons that you think. Number one, there's always like one letter in their neon sign, out. I don't like that. There's a lot of cash flow in here. Fix it. Aesthetics matter. Maybe strip clubs get a bad name because you don't care about curb appeal. The main reason I don't like strip clubs, though, is because it's just not fair. Why do boys get to have something girls don't have? And you know what you're thinking? You're like, Anna, what about Magic Mike? What about Thunder Down Under? What about Chippendales? How do you know so many strip club names? Don't worry about it. I lead an interesting life. It's the fact that those strip clubs are the same that make them not the same. Because men and women were different. Like, men have this superpower where they can see a woman and immediately want to have sex with her. It's kind of why they're all in trouble right now. So they like a strip club. They get it. Women, we're a little different. We want to know that you're interested in us. We want to be interested in you. Like, hear me out. Ladies, what experience would you rather? You get a smoky eye on, which is already hard enough. You have to put on false lashes, which, I'm sorry, is impossible. I cry every time. You get your girlfriends around. You go to Magic Mike, you sit down. You see this dancer who reminds you of your personal trainer you dated when you were in your Coke phase. And you watch him dance on every girl in the room, reminding you that you're not the most special one there, not even close. And he's continuously asking for your approval, right? Just. That's how they get their money. And then he reaches your table and you have to pay him to keep his attention. Does that sound fun or empowering? Or do you want to go to my strip club? It's just a dark bar. And you go by yourself. You don't have to invite your cousins you don't like or your sorority sisters you don't talk to anymore. You show up in a messy bun and sweats and you sit down. You get a drink from a Harry Styles looking bartender. And as you're drinking it, you lock eyes with the only other person in the bar. You're like, oh my God, who's he? Is he looking at me? Yeah, it's your night. He's looking at you, girl. Like, ooh, he's brooding. Cool. And then he gets up and he comes over and he asks to sit down. And then he orders your favorite drink. How does he know it was your favorite drink? Because he listened to you give it to the bartender. Right? And then he goes, I want to listen to all your problems. And then he does. For an hour, he just listens to you bitch about vendors, how everything is too expensive. Oh my gosh, he keeps his own hands in his own lap for the duration of the night. Doesn't even check his phone. Does he have a phone? Who is this guy? And then when you're done, he goes, that sounds like it really sucks. That's it. He doesn't try to give you advice or fix anything because he knows you're smarter than him. And then he pays for your drinks. And as he's leaving, he's like, do you want the champagne room experience? Which is just watching me chop wood without my shirt on. And you're like, no, I'm okay. And then he leaves. He doesn't ask for your Instagram, never sends you creepy DMs, right? Doesn't that sound amazing? That place is called Respects. What would you rather have, ladies? Right? If everyone here gives me $10,000 tonight, we can make it happen. And the best part of that is you don't have to fly to Scottsdale or Nashville or one of those trendy places. There's a dark bar driving distance from wherever you are. You get to leave that dark bar and you order Domino's in the ride home just as you meet it right as you get to your door, because there's nothing more satisfying than that. And then you watch ASMR the rest of the night, housing pizza until you fall asleep. That is my dream if I could do it all over again. Do we know what ASMR is? Kind of, some of us. I can't really explain what it is because the acronym is just like a bunch of scientific words and I'm not that smart. But I can tell you the act of and the immediate sensation I get. It's just sounds. ASMR is sounds, right? Tapping, scraping, things like that. And I love it, okay? My favorite is when women with long nails scrapbook. I love it. And no, that's not the weirdest one, so don't even begin to judge me. Not at all. I used to be afraid to tell people I liked ASMR because I didn't know if it was like a sexual kink or anything. It feels like it should be, right? It probably is for some. I do get a tingle from the top of my head to the tip of my toes, but it does miss my no-no square, so we're good. That's why I feel okay telling y'all about it tonight. I love ASMR, I do. I used to wait to watch it until Sean went to bed like it was porn or something. I was like, I don't know what's gonna happen when they open those Sprite cans. Ah! Woo! Who knows? I'm so happy I don't have to bring bubble wrap into the bedroom or something. I'm so happy that's not my story. It just relaxes me. I always waited for that cross your legs moment, but it never came. You know what I mean by cross your legs moment? That's what my friends and I called our first lady boners. Think about it, it makes sense. It makes sense. The friend who coined that term, cross your legs moment, she told me hers were when the lions in Lion King kiss. Right? I was like, girl, that's animated and animals. You're a freak. You're a freak. My first cross your legs moment, because I know you're wondering, was when Casper turned into a real boy. You remember that? You remember that? A baby-faced Devin Sawa descends down the stairs to a shocked Christina Ricci. I was at a family friend's house and my whole body turned on fire. I was like, anyone else getting this? What's happening? Oh, you don't want to share yours? It is a weird thing. It is a weird thing to tell people the first time you got horny. And I don't even have to talk to anyone at HR. This is such a weird job. This is so weird. So, yes, we got married, but no, we're not having children. Honestly, I got a clap probably from my husband. He's like, make sure you don't change your mind on that, babe. I don't want kids, honestly, because it seems too hard. It does. I think being a parent is the hardest job in the world, and if you don't think so, you're not doing it right. Or you're a man. I'm also a nanny for a long time, so I've done the R&D. This shit is hard. This shit is hard. There was a time where I didn't have to be a nanny. Comedy was going really well, but then like a lot of stuff happened that I'm waiting to talk about until Netflix wants to pay to produce one of these things, because the truth is, yes, we're all here and this is incredible. There's a lot of cameras, but Hollywood is over, dreams are dead. My brother got hit by a drunk driver and got a big settlement, and he's paying for this. Right? That's the best you can hope for anymore. All the strikes in AI, I hope someone I love gets really, really hurt. Thanks, bro. So I did have to go back to nannying, and they were a little confused because I did this whole speech about how I got to chase my dreams. I love you kids, but I'm gonna be a famous comedian. And then I came crawling back, which is probably a better lesson of like, things don't work out. And when I did come back, they're a little older, which is definitely my exit, because they're getting old and smart enough that they can hurt my feelings. The first week I was back, I was putting the kids in the car, and the little boy goes, how much do you make at your shows? And without missing a beat, his sister goes, well, not enough, or she wouldn't be back here with us. Spot on, but hurtful. I just don't want to answer any big questions. That shouldn't be my job, right? The little boy, he's 8 and he's obsessed with Michael Jackson, obsessed. I can't be the one to explain Michael Jackson to him. He tells me all the time, he's like, I wish he was still alive so I could meet him. And I tell him the truth, I go, he would have loved you, buddy. One thing I've noticed with nannying, because the girl, she's older now, she's 12, I like to see the difference within the generations, like how I grew up versus how she's growing up. Something I'm noticing is the difference in fashion, very different. Like now, it's okay to wear a bra as a shirt, that's new. But not very different if you think about it. Because when I was growing up, we wore our pants really, really low, right above our vagina and below our belly button. Famously a woman's favorite part of their body and the easiest to maintain. That's what we were showing people. At least when the shirts got smaller, the pants got taller, you know? I'll take cleavage over that any day. But the biggest difference I'm seeing is within graphic tees. Because graphic tees always have been, always will be in style, on trend. But the graphic tees that I wore are very different from nowadays. Like I shopped at Limited Too. Kohl's. We were poor. Don't know why I try to lie to you. Our graphic tees said things like 99% angel, 1% devil. Don't hate me because your boyfriend thinks I'm cute. My best friend had one. It was my favorite. It said, too hot for math. We wore that in front of our teachers. I go to pick up the little girl I nanny from Girl Scouts. They're all wearing graphic tees. Like, oh, this is going to be funny. I wanted to read them. Blast from the past, but the messaging is a little different nowadays. Here's some shirts I saw. See the light, be the good, make a difference. Yes. Little girls with dreams become women with vision. And my favorite one, it said, girls, we will change the future. Now listen, I agree with all of these statements, I truly do. But I do think it's a little much to put on a fifth grader's shoulders, right? No. Can't we have them sell the cookies without continuously reminding them that the world is on fire? Right? But that's just my experience, at least as a girl. It's constant pressure. As a girl from birth till death, it's just act like this, look like this, be sexy but not slutty. Cover your drinks, hide your tampons. Here, put this pepper spray on your keychain. Don't go outside after dark alone. Don't gain weight. Don't let your body hair grow. And remember, the world is ending. It's up to you to fix it. All I'm saying is I've never seen a little boy at pickup with a shirt that said, be careful with power. C is for consent. It's cool. Walk around Target, you'll just see a bunch of superheroes and poop emojis. And how fair is that? Iron Man versus the bees need our help. It's not fair. I love, she goes, it's not. That's what I love about comedy, is saying something and someone immediately agreeing. We're not having kids, but I do want a gender reveal party, I do. I want that attention. But my gender reveal party is gonna look a lot different from ones you've been to or heard of, okay? Because there's not gonna be a baby in my stomach. Oh, baby. I'm gonna be wasted at my gender reveal party. I am wasted. It's gonna be 10 a.m. on a Tuesday. So all my friends have to miss work. I'm like, welcome to my gender reveal. And my friends are not gonna be confused. They're like, this is very on brand for her. There's gonna be a piñata in the backyard. And I make everyone go to the back. And I go, hit it! Hit it! Because I'm a mean drunk, but I'm working on it. And then my friends, they start hitting the piñata. They can't wait to see what this drunk mom's gonna have. Oh my God. And then it breaks, and joints and concert tickets fall down. And a big banner falls that says, you get to do whatever you want for the rest of your life, and then I win! I had an idea to change the world in a real way recently. Go with me on this one, because it was an idea born out of something very dark, but it's worth it, I promise. Has anyone seen the Quiet on Set documentary at all? It's a weird thing to woo about, to be honest. It's a documentary about Nickelodeon and its most famous shows. And this guy that ran, yeah, you know. Yeah, you know. I'm gonna bring back some nightmares for you tonight right before we're about to end. You're welcome. This man who ran the most famous programming on Nickelodeon was a very, very bad guy, okay? He wrote scenes full of sexual innuendo for his underage cast. He gave them alcohol. He hired and befriended pedophiles, a real fucking monster. And I like about myself that I don't judge a book by its cover, but I'm just gonna say this about that guy. He looks exactly like you think he'd look. He looks like he didn't have sex in high school, is what I'm saying. And this is high school, so like I'm not talking about actual sex. I mean just like any version of having a sex life, right? Like making out until your windows fog up, dry humping while you pretend to watch Cabin Fever in the basement. High school shit. For a million reasons, some kids don't have that experience, and the majority of them kind of turn out to be sex monsters, right? I don't know the statistics on that, but I don't think anyone would disagree. So my idea, and it's gonna fall on us ladies, and I'm sorry, nobody in here, we're all too old, but if you have children one day, commit this to memory, okay? This is how we're gonna save the world. Make out with the chubby kid. Just do it! He's gonna be so much nicer about it than the other guys. For real, you know the kid who's a little too obsessed with Pokemon for his age? Just flash him behind the bleachers, okay? Give him a memory to think about when those incel thoughts get a little too loud in his brain. Because once these boys have turned on women as a whole and blame us for the fact that they found pornography too early and locked themselves in the bedroom for the majority of their adolescence instead of developing personalities, it's too late. You might have to make your first hand job the boy who picks his nose, okay? And I'm sorry about that. I'm sorry. But chances are you're not gonna remember it. That's why they call them jobs. You don't wanna be doing it and you'll have a million of them. This one won't stick for you, but for him, you could be changing the world. Because you know what pick your nose boy turns into? Pew, 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 pew. Make a day, save a life is all I'm saying, you know? Make a day, save a life. We're nearing the end, and this was amazing. And I feel like I'd be remiss for talking for a full hour without telling you my new obsession, which is astrology. Ooh, how many of you just tuned me out? I'm sorry. I know, it's kind of annoying talking about the stars, right? You tell one story about your life, and you have someone like me that was like, when were you born? We all have that friend who has a little bit of a coke problem that likes to tell us why we are the way we are based on the moon's placement on our day of our birth. And we're like, shut up, Rebecca. We know why you are the way you are. It's not the stars. It's the drugs. What really got me hooked is the fact that you can blame the personality traits you don't like about yourself on the stars. It's pretty great. For instance, my entire life, people have called me a bitch. Turns out I'm not. I'm just a Taurus. I'm not a bitch. I'm just stubborn like a bull. Learning about your partner's zodiac sign can help you in the relationship. Like, for instance, today is my husband's birthday. Like I said, he's a Cancer. Those are the sweet, sensitive ones. Ooh, he's so sensitive. His skin is as thin as cellophane. But I realized early on that I just had to adapt to his sensitivity, because what would happen is if I didn't wake up every morning and go, oh my God, I'm so happy we're married. I love you. He would take that personally if I was silent, and then he'd ask me, like, what's wrong? I'm like, well, nothing was wrong until right now. Now you're insinuating I'm acting like something is wrong, and I'm pissed. And the day would be ruined before it started. So I realized I just have to be as sweet as sugar until like 11 a.m. until I can't handle it anymore. But if he does start to spiral, I learned a trick. And I think this works for any man. It doesn't matter when you were born. If you want to make a man's day, which honestly, I don't know why you ever would, but if you ever find yourself in that position, just give him a compliment. Men love compliments. Like if I was like, that pink suit is incredible. You look dope. He's like, yes. You eat that shit up. That's kind of confusing for women. We don't care that much what you think. Because we've all had a friend like I have that told me he got turned on at a Ralph's in the produce section because two cantaloupes were sitting next together. They made an entire movie about a guy having sex with a pie, and then they made 3 more because it was relatable. Men will fuck anything. Your bar's too low. I don't care if you think I'm pretty is what I'm saying. I want to make a marriage advice book. It's going to be like that book, If You Give a Mouse a Cookie. You guys know what that book is, right? In that book, you give the mouse the cookie. He wants more and more things. He ends up cleaning your house at some point. And that does work. I've done it. My book's going to be called If You Give a Man a Compliment. You're going to give him the compliment. He's going to be so excited. He's going to clean your bathroom. I told Sean once, I was like, I like your arms. They look good today. Then 5 minutes later, I was like, damn, we need to do laundry. That laundry got done. Is it manipulation? Sure, but semantics don't matter. I'll leave you with some marriage advice. It was the best marriage advice I've ever gotten in my life. It was from my grandmother, favorite person in the world. She was married to my grandfather for 65 years. I know, yeah. They were the epitome of love. They held hands when they drove. They always matched each other's clothing, which has way more to do with her controlling nature than anything else, but whatever. She's my hero. She had a Ken doll until the end. How fun! 65 years. So I knew when I was getting married that she had the nuggets. She knew the secrets. I thought I'd write a book, Grandma's Advice for Marriage. I sat down with her one night, poured some wine, started a fire, had a notebook. I was in for the night. I was ready to hear some genius. And I go, Grandma, what are the secrets for a long-lasting marriage? And she goes, just don't leave. That's it. I was like, Grandma, blink twice. Are you okay? I'm Simeri. Please give it up for yourselves. Thank you so much.
You know it's tonight. Ain't the steps in the club tonight. All eyes on her, can you feel the vibe? She's a 9.5, not quite a dime, but with those moves, you know she's sublime. Has got the whole place lit. She ain't missing a beat. From the streets to the VIP, everyone feel the heat. She's taking over tonight. She's a talk of the town, dancing like nobody's watching and is wearing the crown. Off it, off it, off it, off it, off it, off it.
Wet dreams are amazing!
Oh.